Oh, well, Good Friday evening program. Got a treat for you guys tonight. Got a little bit of a play, special music, that kind of stuff. But before we get started with that, I need to take a little survey to see if there's anybody else out there like me that has hoarding tendencies or they tend to keep junk around. Yeah, I'm there with you. So tonight we have some of our various treasures um, up here that stuff that we keep around and carry around with us. Tonight it represents sin in our lives that we hang on to, dragging along with us. Tonight maybe we'll learn to put some of our junk down. With that, Lord, thank you for the time we have tonight to gather to remember what you did for us, cross. Thank you for that sacrifice. May ask you to bless this program tonight. So the title of the program is down.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. He said, "Let there be light." He separated the light from the darkness, calling the light day and the darkness night. And God said, "Let there be an expanse between the waters to separate water from water." God called the expanse sky. And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered into one place, and let dry land appear." God called the dry ground land, and gathered waters seas. And God said, "Let the land produce vegetation, and the land produce plants bearing seeds." And God said, "Let there be lights to separate the day from the night." He made the sun to govern the day, and the moon and the stars to govern the night. And God said, "Let the waters teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth." And God said, "Let the land produce living creatures." God made the wild animals according to their kinds, the livestock according to their kinds, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, and let them rule over all the earth." So he created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created male and female. He created them. And God saw all that he had made, and it was very good.
You can stand. You want to turn to the hymnal, it's number 16, or the words will be up on the screen. How great thou art. O Lord my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, thou art. When I wonder and hear the birds sing sweetly in the trees, when I look down from lofty mountain grandeur, my Savior God, to thee, how art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art. And then this is my Father's will. This is my Father's world, and to my listening ears, all nature sings and round me rings the music of the spheres. This is my Father's world. I rest me in the thought of rocks and trees, of skies and seas. In His hand the wonders wrought. This is my Father's world. The birds their carols sing. The morning light, the lily white, declare their Maker's praise. This is my Father's world. In the rustling grass I hear him pass. He speaks to me everywhere.
Now the Lord had planted a garden in Eden, and there he placed Adam and Eve. And the Lord made all kinds of trees grow plentiful, for when you eat of it, you will surely die. Now the serpent tempted the woman and said, surely you will not die if you eat of this tree. Your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good from evil. The woman took some fruit and ate it, and gave some to her husband. Sin and punishment entered the world, so the Lord banished Adam and Eve from the garden. Plagued mankind ever since. All of us, like sheep, have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way. If we claim to be without sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us.
Let's stand again as we sing Abide with Me. Abide with me, darkness deepens, Lord with me above. When other helpers fail and comforts flee, help of the helpless, oh, abide with me. Swift to its close ebbs out life's little day. Earth's joys grow dim, its glories pass away. Change and decay in all around I see. O thou who changest not, abide with me.
Growth this evening. I'd like you to hear about Zeke, the school's bully. He torments everyone, from the A-plus senior to the kindergartner with the auburn curls tied back with a ribbon. Zeke ridicules the structure of the educational system. The students who complete their homework, the jock who scores the winning touchdown, the wannabe freshman who sits on the bench. He makes up a name for all who cross his path. Sean, the mama's baby. Hippo, the one who talks too much. Smallpox, the teen going through early puberty. Loser, the kid who doesn't fit into any group. Bangs, lies. Pictures and trash, glorying in the pain, not caring that his cruelty can be deadly. No one's up to him, fearful they will be his next victim. Teachers tell their students to ignore Zeke, but it's hard to ignore someone who shoves you into a locker, makes wheezing noise. Too was once a victim of him, calling him a mistake. Mom's boyfriend who uses him. The gang in his apartment building who waits under the steps for him to exit the door. Zeke would like to have a friend, but the kids at school are afraid of him. And he's afraid of the adults that go in and out of his life. Zeke doesn't know how to change. Hatred encircles his daytime hours, and nightmares his sleep. If the school counselor would ask Zeke how he's doing, he'd say, fine. Truth be told, Zeke's life is a mess.
In control of the entire company, from the hiring and the firing of personnel and the expansion of the assets, contracts, drawn and supplies. It have been going well for Gerald. Dwelling residence, his fleet of vehicles, his family trips abroad. Yes, people look up to Gerald, and he values their admiration. He likes the sound of applause. He walks with a confidence that is only in him. For you see, the economy has been shaky. The stock market, roller. It's hard to keep up appearances. It's tightening. Gerald is going under. But if the president of the board would ask Gerald how the company is doing, he would instantly talk, oh, fine. Truthfully, Gerald's company and his life are both.
They might be your neighbor. They'll give you a gift. Family. They have girls, boys, dogs, cats, and fire in the parking lot. Lonnie picks out his own gas. It really always with a smile, a hug, or a firm hand. The grass is always right. Yes, the limits are what we all wish aren't known. Again, why do Lonnie and Julie? Why are the kids cool? Come to home, stay home. Why does dad ask mom? No. Sylvia doesn't believe in divorce. Wedding vows are just fresh. But one is double life. How long can it be? How does it come with time? Who knows what God's doing? But the two creatures goes wrong. And his children. What do I and Sylvia say? That's one. How are you doing? I'm fine. Oh, again,
See the teenager hanging out in the shadows behind the stop and go? Sign of the local news. That's the guy with the oily hair offering up her puff joint is done. Briefly, she obliged, sinking down onto her blue knapsack, holding on to all her worldly possessions. Her school, oh, these ones that would fit when she climbed out of her bedroom window, ditching her parents. Why would she want to hear? Bunking out of school. Not. You need to track the books. Her boyfriend, more worldly. He knows how to handle conservative parents, educational guidelines in an uptight society in general. Ditch them. He'd show her how to live. A retired couple pulls their Chevy up to the storefront. The man jumps out, bursts through the glass doors. In minutes, exit bottles of water. Douglas nudges Tina's foot, head gestures toward the gray-haired man. Tina has learned the girl. She may not have the head knowledge of school. She has acquired street. She pops up, snuffing out her drag, slips her hands into her pockets, and gestures of help. Any change, mister? Surprised, the man stops to study the book. Her once pretty silk hair, now dirty and stringy, her lips chapped from living outdoors. He looks into her eyes and sees her youth, her immaturity. And the girl stares at him. Her boyfriend swears, gives the older gentleman a finger away. Two lost souls, two talking to realize they are not their lives.
Staring at her computer's monitor, Suzanne proved the invitation she typed. Did she sound upbeat?
welcoming yet neutral. Their town is celebrating its 125th anniversary in June. Assuming her 5 brothers and sisters would plan their vacations around the event, she's inviting them to a family picnic in her backyard, a 3-day festivities. They all grew up in this small Midwestern town. Their dad had owned and operated an auto mechanic shop along Main Street, open mostly during the winter months. Spring to fall, he was occupied with farmland Grandpa had left him. Nothing extensive in acreage, but he loved the freedom of the open spaces and the feel of the dirt under his feet. All of his children had learned to operate a tractor, and the old stick trucks to help him out when more hands were required. Only their brother Ben felt what Dad felt when he stood out in the ripening fields under the blue sky. Farming was in his blood too. One by one, the 6 siblings, the other 4 were scattered across neighboring states. Years had passed. Holidays were still celebrated at Mom and Dad's. Everyone sweeping into the tiny room. Moms tickling their nostrils, laughter abounding. Then one of the sisters went through a messy divorce. Siblings sighed. Brother Tyler borrowed some money from the folks and never paid it back. A hairline fracture digged through the family structure, ripping away at the once inseparable relationship. Then Dad got sick. He lasted 8 months before the grieving family formed a disjointed circle and was great. Mom continued to be the focal point, endeavoring to unite her band of chicks, yet disagreements and past sore spots continued to fester. 10 years later, Mom was laid to rest beside him. Others adamantly stood firm, saying their parents' wishes should be upheld. Bygone disagreements mounted in arguments. Hurt feelings spread like a cancer that was dying with soul. Suzanne sighed. Couldn't they all lay down their grievances, forgive, become a family again? Shouldn't the grandchildren be able to form good memories of their aunts and uncles? The saddest part is that all 6 of the brothers and sisters professed Christian. Suzanne hung her head. Their family sure was a mess.
Junk. We'll go back into biblical times a little bit now and talk about King David. But look at him over there. Looks a lot older than his 60 years. His shoulders slump, his head hangs. He shuffles like an old man. He struggles to place one foot in front of the other. He pauses often because he's going up the Mount of Olives, and it's really steep. He wears no crown. His son, Absalom, has taken it by force. David has no. He flees the capital that he founded. Who wouldn't weep at a time like this? No throne, no home, Jerusalem behind him, the wilderness ahead of him. Now, how does a king end up old and lonely on an uphill path? David, how are things with your children? It's a subject. 14 years have passed since David seduced Bathsheba. 13 years since Nathan prophesied, fell in lust with his half-sister Tamar. After using her, he discarded Tamar like a worn doll. David's response? When King David heard all these things, he was very angry. That's it? That's all? You want a longer verse? You want a few verbs? For 3 years, they lived in separate cities. Absalom returned to Jerusalem, but David still refused to see him. Absalom married, had 4 children, David's grandkids. David succeeded in neglecting his son. More accurately, he neglected all his children. When we ask David about his, he just groans. Then we ask him the sons: Michael, Abnanah, Abigail, Maacah, Haggith, Abital, Igubah, and, the famous one, Bathsheba. Too many even to give one day a week. Situation worsens. The genealogist adds, these were all the sons of David, besides the sons of his concubines. David fathered other children, other mothers, and we don't even know how many. Had God's instructions? A man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, one man, one woman, one marriage. On the other hand, David did so much so well. He unified the 12 tribes into one nation. He masterminded military conquests. He founded the capital city and elevated God as the Lord of the people. He brought the ark to Jerusalem, paving the way. He wrote poetry. We all still read it. It's Psalms, and the Psalms we still sing. But when it came to his family, David blew it. Getting back to, what about his son Absalom? David finally reunited with him, but it was too late. The seeds of bitterness had spread deep roots. Absalom revolted to overthrow his father. He recruited from David's army and staged a coup. His takeover set the stage for the sad, there he goes, of David out of Jerusalem, up the Mount of Olives, into the wilderness. No crown, no city, just a heavy-hearted, lonely old man. Loyalists eventually chased Absalom down. When he tried to escape horseback, his long hair got tangled in a tree, and soldiers speared him. David heard the news. He fell to pieces. David succeeded everywhere except at home. David had created a mess. It all together. When they ask how you doing, just smile and tell them never closed door. Truth be told, truth is rare for the sick, the sinner in the scar and the prodigal life. Truth be told, the truth is rarely told. It's out of control, I say it's under control, but it's not, and you know it. I don't know why it's so hard to admit it. Being honest is the only way to feel unashamed. Knowing that your love for me won't change. Be told, I say I'm fine, yeah I'm fine, oh I'm fine, hey I'm fine, but I'm not. I'm broken, it's not, and you know it. I don't know why it's so hard to admit it. Being honest is the only way to fix it. There's no failure, no flaw, there's no sin you don't already know. Yeah, I know. There's no failure, no flaw, there's no sin you don't already know. Let the truth be told.
More. I have cheated.
I have killed others with my thoughts.
I have thought less of the homeless, mentally and physically handicapped, the unemployed, racial disparity.
I have indulged in drunkenness, gluttony, thoughts.
I'm not like me. I have wasted the talents and abilities given to me.
I have now loneliness and fear.
I've allowed busyness to zap my peace.
I have argued rather than apologized.
I've been stubborn rather than moldable.
I've resisted what is right and done it my way.
I have been arrogant and set myself above others.
I've taken credit for what I do not do.
I have blamed others for my faults.
I have
But myself.
I've not loved my brother, my sister, my spouse, my neighbor.
I have not shared what I had to give.
I have not who have wronged me.
I have not shown mercy when I had the chance to do so.
I have not turned the other cheek, but have allowed petty grievances to dominate my thoughts and actions.
I have not followed Christ's example, but have fallen into temptation.
I have not numbered my blessings, but have yearned for more.
I have not listened to others, but have blasted out my own point of view.
I have not been patient, but
When I promised to do so,
I have not volunteered to serve because it is easier to relax.
I have not embraced new ways to teach and reach.
I have not been generous in my sharing my finances, but have only given out of my bounty.
I have not chosen to be joyful, but instead have immersed myself in sorrow, personal injustice, and grievances.
I've not loved fellow believers the way Christ does.
Filled with compassion, Jesus left his home in heaven and came to dwell on earth with us. She will bring forth a